You are replaying a conversation in your head for the fourth time. It's 2 a.m. You are running through what you said, what they said, the pause before they answered, the way their voice shifted. You are trying to figure out if you said something wrong, if they were annoyed, if you are going to hear from them again. You are exhausted, and you do not even know why you care this much. If this channel has helped you understand yourself even a little better, please hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps more people find this content who need it. What if I told you that this is not a malfunction? What if I told you that your overthinking is not a sign that something is broken inside you, but a sign that your nervous system is doing exactly what it was designed to do? Today, we are going to unpack the real reason empaths overthink every single interaction, and why this thing you have been trying to silence might actually be your greatest gift. Here's what most people misunderstand about overthinking. They think it is anxiety. They think it is insecurity. They think it is a lack of confidence. But overthinking in highly sensitive people is something entirely different. It is your brain running a high-resolution simulation of social dynamics because your nervous system is calibrated to detect every micro-signal that most people miss entirely. Here's where it gets really interesting. You are not overthinking because something is wrong with you. You are overthinking because your mirror neurons are operating at a level of sensitivity that most people do not have. Mirror neurons are the neural pathways that allow us to feel what others feel. They are the foundation of empathy. But in empaths, these neurons do not just mirror emotions, they mirror intentions, tones, micro-expressions that flash across someone's face for a fraction of a second. Your brain is doing this automatically, constantly, without your permission. And then your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for analysis and pattern recognition, kicks in. It sees all of this data and it tries to make sense of it. It runs simulations. It asks questions. Did they mean that? Was that a hint of annoyance? Are they going to pull away? It is trying to protect you from betrayal before the betrayal happens. But here's the twist. This hyper-awareness was forged in environments where you had to read people accurately just to survive. If you grew up walking on eggshells, if you learned early that your emotional safety depended on predicting the moods of people around you, then your nervous system adapted. It became a finely tuned instrument for detecting danger in social dynamics. Your overthinking is not a flaw. It is an adaptation. It is your body trying to keep you safe. This is where the real danger begins. Because most people are not running this level of social analysis. Most people can say something careless, forget about it, and move on. But you cannot. You absorbed their tone. You felt their hesitation. And your brain will not let it go until it resolves the equation. Until it understands what was really happening underneath the surface. And what nobody tells you is that this is exactly why empaths so often attract one-sided relationships. Because your sensitivity is so rare, so finely tuned, that most people cannot meet you there. They do not even know that this level of social attunement exists. So they think you are too much. They think you are reading too deeply. They think your need to understand the full picture of an interaction is obsessive. But you are not obsessive. You are precise. You are doing the work that most people are too defended or too disconnected to even attempt. You are trying to understand what is really happening beneath the words people say. And that is not a weakness. That is a form of intelligence that very few people possess. Here's a fun fact that genuinely blew my mind. Research on the prefrontal cortex shows that highly sensitive people have increased activation in areas associated with social cognition and emotional processing. This is not a deficit. This is a different neurological architecture, one that is wired for depth, for nuance, for understanding the full spectrum of human interaction. Now here's the part that makes this genuinely dangerous to certain people. When you do not understand that your overthinking is a gift, you try to suppress it. You try to be more relaxed, more carefree, more like everyone else. And when you suppress something that is that fundamental to how your nervous system operates, you do not make it go away. You just push it underground. You start doubting your own perceptions. You start wondering if you are too sensitive, if you are imagining things, if you are the problem. That is how gaslighting works. That is how manipulation takes root, because the very tool that could protect you, your hyper-awareness, becomes the thing you learn to distrust. The manipulator does not even have to work very hard. You are already doubting yourself. You are already second-guessing what you felt. You are already performing the self-doubt they need you to feel. So let me say this clearly. That is not overthinking. That is discernment. That is not hypersensitivity. That is a finely calibrated warning system. That is not anxiety. That is your brain gathering data to keep you whole. Here's the pattern I want you to see. When you overthink an interaction, you are not being weak. You are being thorough. You are not being insecure. You are being responsible. You are doing what your nervous system designed you to do. You are reading the full picture so you can respond accurately, not react blindly. The problem is not that you overthink. The problem is that you have been taught to distrust the results. You have been taught that your perceptions are too intense, that your need for clarity is excessive, that your refusal to accept surface-level answers is a character flaw. But I am here to tell you that this refusal to accept surface-level answers is exactly what has allowed you to survive in environments that would have destroyed less attuned people. So here is the truth nobody tells you. You are not overthinking because you are broken. You are overthinking because you see what others cannot. You feel what others refuse to acknowledge, and your mind will not rest until it fully understands what is happening. Not because something is wrong with you, but because understanding is how you keep yourself safe. Your overthinking is your superpower. It is the thing that allows you to navigate the chaos that other people sleepwalk through. It is the reason you survive situations that leave others bewildered. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. You are just operating at a frequency that most people do not have the capacity to tune into. So here's what I want to leave you with today. The next time you catch yourself replaying a conversation, running through every word, every tone, every micro-expression, do not shame yourself for it. Instead, recognize it for what it is. Your brilliant, finely tuned nervous system doing its job, gathering data, protecting you, helping you understand the full truth of what is happening beneath the surface. You do not need to be less sensitive. You need to trust what you feel. You need to trust the depth of your perception. Have you ever experienced this kind of overthinking? The kind where your brain simply will not let go of an interaction until it fully understands what happened? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you know someone who has spent their whole life being told they overthink too much, share this video with them. Not as a promotion, as a message, as a way of saying, you are not broken. You are just wired differently. And different is not wrong.